All right. So it seems that we've had some technical glitches here. Had to restart the chat because, or the stream, because things weren't working. So hopefully you guys will be able to join me here on the new stream, and we'll be able to continue our discussion around EGS. So fingers crossed that folks will be able to find the new window that we had to set up, because that didn't go as planned. Yeah, I had to reboot the whole thing. So hopefully you guys can see and hear me now. Jacob says he's here early. Oh man, I burst into a sweat there, man. It's been a long time since I had a chat go down on me like that. That was brutal. I think there were like 80 some odd people in the room and we just lost it all. So we'll do a quick recap for people and then hopefully be able to answer some additional questions that folks may have about expert grading service. All right, so folks are starting to get here. Welcome back, guys. I apologize for that. Fox says, and we're back. Comics Misexplained, how you doing? Wolverine Collector, brother. I don't know what happened. Anything can happen. Anything can happen when you are going live on the internet, right? Perry says, the new grading company broke the internet. No doubt. Dude, it's brutal. It's brutal when you're trying to do this stuff live. I was just saying I broke into a sweat. I haven't had a chat go down in a long time, man. I'm wearing a tank top, but I'm sweaty. So anyway, it's Joe Rogan's toes. Oh, Joe Rogan just got lunch. CGC got You guys are awesome. All right, so there you go. You've got EGS, a new grading company that is coming to the market. They are trying to do things a little bit differently. Again, as I mentioned previously, the guy that owns the company, Anthony, is Comics Misexplained just gave me a super chat for $4.99. Says PGX sabotaging. Bro, you are awesome. Thank you for that. All right, so new comic company coming to the market. This guy Anthony, I think, is a solid guy. I've had several conversations with him, sometimes much to the chagrin of my wife. We were actually going someplace the first time, and we spent the entire drive with me talking to Anthony on the phone about his idea. And so my wife was not very happy with me at the end of that trip. So I don't think I ever told Anthony that story, but we have EGS, the website, and I will, to Jilly Jill's point, actually put the link in the description. It is egscomicsgrading.com. And welcome to the chat, Tina. No, you do not have to be a member. They are not doing any membership fees. They are looking at a 14-day average turnaround time for comics. For a modern comic at 14 days, the cost to have the book encapsulated, graded, all that good stuff is $25. For a Silver Age, modern age book, the cost goes up to $30 for 14 days. And then as you go to 7 days, or if you go to 3 to 5, all business days, the price, of course, goes up. And you can head over to Expert Grading Service or egscomicsgrading.com for more pricing information and more questions. So James making a comment here about PGX. Jilly Jill, you are very welcome, and I will try to put that in the that link in the description as well. For those that are on Instagram, because I'm a big Instagram fan, it is EGS Comics is their Instagram name, but you guys are definitely welcome. Broke Cause of Comics says Mr. White Teeth. My mother gives me so much trash talk for that. No, there is no discount for a 28-day turnaround. There's none of that. So I actually took the books out of the bag. So let me see if I can drop it back in here and show you what that looks like. So I think they're a little bit better than CBC. than CGC, sorry, but that's kind of what the bag looks like. It's still a little loose, but not as loose as what you would see with CGC's crazy gooseneck bag. You know, that bag is one of the sloppiest things I've ever seen. I do like CBCS's bags. I think their bags fit really nicely, really snugly. These have a little bit of movement, but definitely not as loose as what you would see with the gooseneck CGC bag. So yeah, somebody just dropped it in here. Vox, thank you for that. I'm gonna go ahead and show that so you guys can actually see the link. So glad you can see that. RB3, brother, you were always on time. So again, we'll run through this one more time so you guys can see it. Hopefully we won't break the internet again. For those that are just joining, I've spent over the last couple of weeks, last couple of months, talking a lot about grading companies and the importance of competition. And today through this channel, we are now announcing that there is another third-party grading company that is coming to the market. It is a company called Expert Grading Service. And what's cool about this is that this person is actually from the comic book community. This guy reads comics. He's been in the chat with you guys over the last couple of months. He's participated in the dialogue. His name is Tony Anthony as his formal name, but you guys have seen him. He's been part of the discussion behind the scenes for the last little bit. He and I have been working together. Whitewell's been involved. We've been giving feedback and insight and direction to try to help him to launch his company. And I have no financial involvement with any of this stuff. A couple of people have asked about their financials. I don't know any of that. I don't get involved with that. For me, this has just been one of those fun things to do, you know, because I have a genuine passion for this stuff and I've just been having a lot of fun with it. So his YouTube name, he actually doesn't have a channel, but he goes by Anthony Trombetta here on the channel. If you go to today's this or that, he actually gave some answers to this or that. You can actually check his channel out there. I don't think he does anything on his channel, to be honest, but you can check it out. But his Instagram is egscomics, and then the website is egscomicsgrading.com. So cool thing about this thing, UV protection built into the slabs, 14-day turnaround time. They're offering both raw and slab grading. They are using the Overstreet grading criteria for books, and essentially what they are promising on the back side of their labels, if you read it, is honesty, integrity, security, and efficiency. And to me, that screams transparency, which is something many of you have been asking for. Is how do you determine the grade? What criteria are you using? Those are the things that people want to know. And again, it is Overstreet that they're using. And if you go to the website, I think he has a kind of a list of this is what a 9.8 is. This is what a 7.0 is, et cetera, et cetera. And my guess is that if you have additional questions, you can reach out to this guy and that he will be responsive. So they essentially offer Back to Magic says he does like the fact that they offer some UV protection. Again, I don't know if I would put my books directly in the sunlight because that's just not me, but it's cool to know that there is some protection there, right? And again, what Anthony was doing was that he was listening to the things that you guys were saying are important, and now he is trying to deliver a company, a grading company that delivers against the things that you guys have identified. And one of the big things was turnaround time, right? Another was the UV protection would be nice. Another major thing was transparency. Those were some of the things, if you go back and watch some of my videos, those were some of the things that you guys were saying were really important. So Mark Spector, that is an excellent question, brother. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. But I think that's a wonderful question to ask Anthony. If you reach out to him, I would definitely ask those I would definitely ask those questions. Vox is a hilarious person. Bro, you are hilarious. All right. So they are offering, as the way I see it, 3 types of services. All right. One of them is a basic raw grading service for $10. They basically grade the comic They put it in on a Mylar with a clear backing board, and they seal it and they put a certificate in there. And this thing right here is $10 to get this done. And on the back here, it basically says certificate of authenticity, states the name of the book, the grade that it was assigned, and they are just straight grading. There is no restoration check or anything like that. They are looking at the book, evaluating the book, and saying what the grade is. And this one right now is actually an 8.0, right? And to my knowledge, CBCS is the only other company that does raw grading. And what you guys were saying was, I don't want my books in plastic on a wall. I do, however, want a grade and maybe some nice protection. And so here you now have raw grading service with, you know, as little, well, you can do 14-day turnaround, and you can do as little as 3 to 5 days, but this is an option that is available to you. But let's say that you wanted to step your game up a little bit more. You wanted to go with a little bit more protection. Here is a different version. This is the Choice Raw Grading Service, and this is a $20 option. The Mylar is a $10. This is a $20. And the cool thing about this one, just like that Mylar, is technically you can actually access the book if you choose to. You can actually peel off the sides of this thing, pop off the bottom, and you can actually pull the book out. Without damaging the book or without damaging the slab, you can actually pull it out, and then you can put it back. And so this was an option for those people that want some added protection, but don't necessarily want to have their book permanently encased and encapsulated in plastic. So that's a good little option there. And to the point that Chris is making right now, Whitewell has actually sent in a couple of his books already to be evaluated by EGS. And so I'll be doing the same very soon to try to support this. James said I should fly to see how the sausage is made. Brother, if you pay for that plane ticket. Oh, so he also, I should mention, the company is based down in Florida. So you may want to check that out. It's down in Florida, which is where CGC is and where CBCS used to be. And yes, they do have different labels. So here is like, this is an example of what the raw label would look like. I'm sorry, the restoration label. It's a purple label. Here is the regular blue label for just a regular certified, expert certified book. And then of course you have a yellow label for your signature series. And then all of the, which is the third tier, all of the expert certified books also come with free grader's notes where they actually provide details on there as to who signed it or what the defects were that were found on the book. So they do provide some details there. Oh, extra cost. I would go to the website for that. I think the cost was, if they witness it, it's like, I think it's an extra $8, and I can't remember the certified price, but I would definitely swing by the website to check that out and get a little additional. So Cody, the thing about this book, this is actually the Choice Raw Graded book. This one is meant to be opened and accessed, right? So that this is for the person that likes to have books graded, but doesn't want them permanently encased, but wants more protection than a regular MyLite. You go with this one where you can still access the book. For those that get regular certification, he actually has the same kind of case, but what he's done is he's actually sealed up the sides of it. The sides are sealed up, and there's actually a security seal down at the bottom. So if the seal is broken, you'll actually know that that seal has actually been broken. And so that's just a little bit of some assurance that the book hasn't been accessed. But again, if you have some concerns, I would definitely ask those questions. And again, that's what I was referring to in the first part of the video before this thing got cut off, is every single person out there that decides to work with EGS should evaluate whether they want to work with EGS. Do not just take my word for it and start sending money, right? You should, in all cases, do your own research and make sure that this is something that you want to support. If you have questions, ask those questions. Get the answers that you're looking for, and if your questions are answered to your satisfaction, then you pull the trigger. Please do not just take my word for this stuff, because the same way that I'm saying to you, you should investigate, I am also going to be investigating. And yes, I've been involved with this for some time, but I haven't sent books in yet. And so I'm going to send books in and I'm going to evaluate the service based upon what I actually see from the moment those books leave my hand to the moment those books return. That'll be how I evaluate it. All right. So, it's no snow up in Cleveland. One book, nothing special. Give it a try. There you go. Chris says, I'll send money if I can get money back. I don't know. And again, that's a great question. Vox says, so the one you showed us is the expert certified book. So yeah, the first two books that I showed you, these books are basically made for the person that does, and this is Reggie's opinion, that doesn't really want to encapsulate books, but wants to have a grade and wants to have some kind of protection. These are those options. This is the basic raw grading. This is the choice raw grading. If you go for true certified books, you then have this one. The next level is the expert certified. And within expert certified, you of course have your restored label, your universal label, and then your signature series label, right? And with this expert certified, these are the ones that have the security tape on the side and the security seal down at the bottom, right? And so this is on both this signature series expert certified and also on this blue label certified book as well, all right? So hopefully that helps. Cody says he digs the expert certified. The company that we're talking about here, Comics and Culture, is a brand new third-party grading service that is making its debut through the channel right now. It is called Expert Grading Service, EGS. So if you go to egscomicsgrading.com, you can actually read more about them. Or if you head over to EGS Comics on Instagram, you can check them out. So Sully to Kings, how you doing? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Candygram Man says, Reggie knows nothing about economics, but partners with large comic supply companies and co-starts a great... Brother, I do this stuff because I have fun. One thing I'll tell you is I am not an expert. And I actually had a conversation with somebody about that the other day. I don't consider myself an expert. I think that there are some of you out there that have a whole lot more expertise in comic book knowledge than I do. I don't consider myself an expert. I consider myself a dude that likes to have some fun and can turn on a camera and have extremely white teeth, right? that's like my thing. And but I enjoy this. I enjoy interacting with you guys, and I think that comes through. And so I think that that's part of the reason why people kind of like reach out to me and want to work with me, is because I genuinely just have fun, you know, and I think you guys do as well. So here we go. Tony Trombetta, aka the president of Expert Grading Services, has entered the room. Tony, it is good to see you. The receptivity to the announcement of Expert Grading Service has been extremely well received by the comic book community thus far. There's been a lot of amazing interaction. We even had a failed stream where we had like 80 some odd people in the stream. They crashed, and now we are back up to 60 some odd people in the chat right now. But Tony Trombetta is here in the room. Chris is asking, do I use Crest or Colgate? Brother, you have to stay tuned for the next announcement. Let's just put it that way. There could be another announcement. Oh man. 23, there are no haters here, brother. I honestly can say that there are no haters, man. We have fun in here. I don't consider anyone a follower or a hater. None of that stuff, man. We just have fun. And this is comics, and if it's not fun, then we are doing it wrong. You know what I'm saying? So bro, cause of comics says ultra bright. I'm glad you like hanging out with me, Chris. I definitely appreciate it, brother. So yeah, I may be getting, I'm thinking about starting this, what is that thing called? Patreon, right? I'm gonna start some Patreon. Everybody's gonna get a free supply of my favorite toothpaste. Oh man. Yeah. All right. So, what else? What else did I do today? I did that. Oh, and then I also unboxed. Where are those books? Where'd they go? Oh, okay. So the other thing is, and while Tony's here, I'm sure he's going to be kind of talking with you guys a little bit. Sully, Two Kings, you are very welcome. I'm glad you can participate. Tony Trombetta, the president of EGS, is actually here in the room. So if you guys do have questions for him, make sure you guys ask those questions because he's here. I'm going to continue to chat just a little bit so that, you know, he has a little bit of time to interact with you guys just a little bit. And if you do have questions for me, I can definitely show some additional things. But while we do that, I want to show a couple of things. So if you guys remember, a couple of months ago, we actually started a community project in which I actually sent out into the community some sketch variants, and I sent these sketch variants to some folks that I watch on YouTube, some folks that I interact with on YouTube and on Instagram, and the books have finally come home to me. I think I sent these books out in September or October, and they have finally come back to me, and here is one of the books right here. This is Avengers #1, and as you can see, there are some awesome sketches and signatures here. So we have some cool stuff down here by Thanos, aka Matt. He was actually the first to sign. Alex the Comic Hoarder is over here. I'm here. Bueller is here. Comic Crypto Stock. Jojo from Pop.Comics. We have JD with an awesome Thor sketch. DS Comics signed. The Boy Who Had 7 is over here. RB3 signed. Tony Sanders got a cool sketch. From Heroes to Icons did a bust here. Comic Vantage also signed. And then we've got some cool stuff on the back as well. Whitewell did a killer sketch on the back side of Cosmic Ghost Rider. That thing is killer. And Backseat Driver did a cool sketch down here at the bottom of Captain America. And I'll let you guys see the front side of this thing. So just as a reminder, one of these books I will actually keep, and the other I'm going to find a way to give back to the comic book community. I'm not sure whether I'm going to do it as part of trivia night or whether I'm going to do it in some other capacity, but I'm definitely going to be giving one of these books back to the comic community. So Jack said that we should do a joint Q&A. We may, and that was one of the things that we talked about. I don't know if Tony actually has the whole YouTube thing set up to be able to do it, but I think that that's something that he should definitely consider. So, so here is the other sketch variant. And I think a couple of people are making a point that, you know, might build a little confidence if we can actually put a face to the company. And so I think, again, I think one of the great things is that Tony takes this stuff in and will hopefully do something with it, you know. So a couple of really cool sketches here on the front side. And there are just some amazingly talented people. Whitewell here, JD here, Tony Sanders here. I actually don't know who that signature is, to be honest with you, or that sketch, but it is cool. It looks like a Harry Potter. Thanos is down here. RB3 is over here. My buddy Bueller signed it. And then on the back side, we've got another awesome sketch here. Just some really, really cool stuff, you know, from some people. And every one of these people has a lot more talent than I. And I have to say I'm very appreciative to every single person that participated in this project. It was a fun one. I think it was a little bit different. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if it was actually going to work out, but I have to tell you, I am pleasantly surprised that it did. And it was cool. It was cool. So shout out to every single person that participated in this thing. So Comics with Bueller just got here. Comics with Bueller, thank you for the super chat. I was at work today and I got a message from a guy that I interact with via text a lot. And he's I don't think he's a YouTuber, but he subscribes to the channel and we interact with one another occasionally. He actually sends me a photo of him in a comic shop with Comics with Bueller. And I tell you, when I tell you guys that you have the ability to interact with comic book guys all day, every day, I am serious about it. I get cool messages and stuff like this all the time, and it makes the day a lot more fun, you know. So shout out to these guys for having a good time over in that comic shop, wherever the heck you guys were. I'm hoping that you both, I was making a lot of fun of you, Bueller. I was telling him not to let you spend up all his money in the 50-cent bins. But hopefully you guys had a pretty good time. Yeah, it was definitely a bugler spotting. I actually didn't expect that. I did not expect that. No, I am definitely not from Oregon. I am not from Oregon. I'm actually from Detroit, Michigan, and live in California. That was just a really cool really cool thing that popped in from somebody that subscribes to the channel that I get a chance to interact with. So hopefully Tony Trombetta is having some good conversations here with people. I would definitely encourage you guys to reach out and to have a conversation with him, because I think that I personally think Tony's a solid guy, and I think you guys may definitely want to chat with him. So Reggie may want to check the comments. Let me see what I'm seeing here. All right. So let me scroll up and see if there's some good stuff in here. Candy Graham, man. Bueller is everywhere, man. There is definitely no doubt about that. So no, Whitewell, there is no moderator in the room, but you have just been made one. So you were all set to kind of help me police some of this stuff. So I definitely appreciate that in advance. Yep, Back to Magic, sorry, is making a couple of comments here about he wishes AGS all the best moving forward. Says hope that they can live up to the motto, as do I, and I think it's incumbent upon each one of us to kind of help them to do that, you know. And I think as I've interacted with Tony over the last little bit, he has been pretty awesome in responding to things that we've brought up to him, and so I think that that's awesome. Comic G-Man, thank you very much, brother. I definitely appreciate that. Merry Christmas to you as well, and thank you for that super chat. I want to appreciate all you guys. Not just those that do the super chat, but those that just hang out and come here and have a conversation and bring, you know, energy and positivity and humor to it. Looking at you, Vox, but it's like, I definitely appreciate you guys. Again, this is what I always talk about, is that this is what makes this fun, when we can just have a good time, kind of, you know, talking some trash and all that kind of stuff. All right, so let me do one last thing and then I'm going to get myself out of here. A couple of cool books that came in as part of those sketch variants that I sent out. There were actually, I sent out 2 books and more books came back, much to my surprise. So my buddy Backseat Driver 528, who was in the chat earlier, actually sent this really cool book to me, X-Men #1 from the 90s. Huge fan of this book, so thank you for that, brother. I appreciate this. A Marvel Age 71 featuring this awesome Silver Surfer sketch cover. This thing is cool. This came from DS Comics. I absolutely enjoy talking to James. He is a solid guy, and I definitely dig that dude. I dig this cover, so thank you for that, brother. This one at New Warriors #1, I believe that this came from Alex the Comic Hoarder. Now, there is nothing written on the back, and so you might ask, how did I know that? I know that because of the tape. This looks like an Alex the Comic Hoarder painter's tape thing, so that is him. So shout out to you, Alex, for sending that. An Amazing Spider-Man number 700.3. This came from Whitewell Comics, who is now a moderator. From Heroes to Icons, brother, thank you for hanging out just a little bit. I definitely appreciate that. So this is from Whitewell. He sent me this book. Here is from, what is this? Black Panther #4. This is from The Boy Who Had 7. So shout out to you, brother. I definitely appreciate you. This is from Matt, aka Thanatos. This is the Green Lantern #1. This is the really cool Sinestro sketch cover. This thing is really cool. Someone said this is actually worth a decent amount of money, so shout out to you, brother, for sending that over to me. I appreciate it. From Heroes to Icons, Jason, who has actually did some awesome sketches on the sketch cover variants, sent me this really cool Mighty Thor number 705 variant. So thank you for that, brother. And again, thank you to everybody else that participated in the competition, or the contest. Hey, Reggie, we should talk comics sometime. I live in Cali. Yeah, brother, whenever you reach out to me, man, I'm always around. I am always around. You can always hit me on Instagram. I am literally on Instagram every day, all day, right? I will check it sometimes as I'm walking down the hall and kind of reply back to people. So send that, Gorilla God says, send in that GL #1. Maybe. So supposedly, Stephen, what Tony is talking about right now is a 14-day turnaround time for comics. His basic service is a 14-day And that's for like $25 to $30 for a modern or silver / gold. 14-day turnaround. You can increase your price and your turnaround time efficiency if you go to 7 days or if you go to 3 to 5. And those are all business days. So 14 business days, 7 business days, and 3 to 5 business days. If you go to the website, you can actually check out the prices. But the least expensive option is a modern book, 14-day turnaround time for $25. And again, there is no membership fee, which I think is really cool. A couple of other things. There is UV protection. He offers raw and encapsulated grading. He uses Overstreet as his grading standard, which should give you some transparency into how he arrived at the grade that you happen to get for your book. Yep. All right. There is also, I believe, a same day as well. And again, the website has a lot more of those details. So you guys may want to check some of that stuff out. All right. All right, guys. So I want to thank you guys again for spending a little bit of time with me hanging out. I'm glad that I was able to announce the availability and the launch of Expert Grading Service. I encourage you guys to do your due diligence and to check it out. And if you decide to move forward, I think that that's going to be awesome. I, again, will actually be sending some books in relatively soon over to Tony for him to check out. If you guys have any questions, I definitely encourage you to reach out to him to get the answers that you're looking for, because I think he's going to be probably the best person to answer those questions. Stay tuned because I'm going to be trying to go live a little bit more as we get into the holiday season, because I will be off from work. And so I have some awesome things that I hope to be able to talk to you guys about relatively soon. If you need me, I am always around. Be sure to leave a comment and I will get back to you just as soon as I can. Thank you, guys.